It's May Day and alarm bells might be going off for most of the League of Ireland Premier Division. Shamrock Rovers now looking on a roll. Daniel McDonnell was at the Brandywell to see them beat Derry City 2-0 and even allowing for a Derry penalty missed down. It was fairly comfortable evening for Rovers.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I've just had the Rovers away fans just filtered by me here and they're all in good spirits. And yeah, I mean, a few comments about a questionable penalty and all, but it's about the point of my report. Like if you said to me beforehand, there's going to be 9 minutes injury time in this game, you can sort of imagine an evening of drama or tension or some controversy, and most of the Derry fans were on their way home at that stage or on their way out, probably unhappy to see the board for 9 minutes. So look, I mean, Derry did win the previous meeting between the sides. I mean, they're level for the season, but there was just something about the manner of the Rovers win that I think is ominous for everyone else. They're going to have to allow their levels to drop off, I think, to struggle this year, or they're going to have some quirky things happen. I know Derry are missing a few bodies. I'm always wary of jumping to conclusions from one game. But there's just something about this Rovers team that's starting to click into gear. That is ominous for everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, the goals they scored summed up the game, really. I mean, it summed up Rovers' brilliance at times, but how poor Derry were. I mean, I thought the first goal from an attacking point of view was magnificent, but I think when I went back and counted, I think there was 12 Rovers touches from Manus all the way up to Richie Towell, and I think the closest the Derry player got was about 2 yards, which is very, very strange for like a home team in what's meant to be two relative equals.
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise it was a double switch at half time. I mean, Derry will say they're missing Patrick McElhenney, they're missing Patching, they're missing Cameron Dummigan. That could be arguably their first choice central three. But still, like Adam O'Reilly has been brought in there as someone who probably gets close to players. He snaps at their heels. Ollie O'Neill was their number 10, talented player. But Jack Byrne just saw the pockets all the time. It wasn't just him, but I suppose they had Richie Towell in a slightly more advanced role instead of Graham Burke. Jack Byrne was just dropping deep all the time, and it's again like he's a bit like a quarterback sometimes, and it just wasn't. He found the space to hurt them, and Derry, just surprisingly sort of passive or just not really just making life difficult for Rovers. The first 10-15 minutes they did, but I think that's the experience. Like Rovers got into trouble a couple of times in the first 10-15 minutes. They learned from it and they managed the game well from there. Derry didn't respond.
Yeah. I guess like staying on the game briefly. I mean, most quarterbacks will, if you give them time, they'll hurt you. And I mean, Byrne, like even the second goal, like he was in so much space, and none of the Derry players even got themselves back on the line. They lost the header, and then Byrne was in again. It was very, very strange kind of night.
Yeah, like it killed the second half. The second half was a complete non-event, and there was a long delay in there. But even just that. It just happened in slow motion, the second goal. And look, Brian Maher, listen, that's what he does. He sweeps, across the season. He'll cut off a lot of issues doing it that way. But it's easy to be sort of to be wise in hindsight. Just maybe the wrong decision at the wrong time. But it wasn't just him, as you said. It was the slow reaction. Of all the people to arrive into that situation. I mean, Gary Neal wins a simple header and bang, it's over.
Yeah, it was over. So Rovers now into second, 24 points, 4 points behind Bohs, who they meet on Friday. Bohs 5-0 against Cork, a moment of madness from Alex Gilchrist, followed immediately by Jordan Flores' free kick. That opened the score, and that seemed to be game over. Bohs drove home the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, like I know Colin Healy's had a go at the referee and after the Gilchrist, Ali Gilchrist sending off, but it just does look like you can debate that incident, but still, I mean, you've seen teams go down to 10 this year in this league and do pretty well. And Bohs have steamrolled them. Ali Coote back is probably significant as well. Just with a view to Friday, Alan Manus potentially out of that game, we'll see. Few little glimpses of life for Bohs. And I think the big thing for Bohs is they've responded well to their disappointments generally this year. And wherever they're going to finish, I think that's something that's going to stand to them.
Yeah, certainly sets it up for Friday night. Cork looking a little bit cut adrift as our UCD lost 2-0 to Dundalk. Dundalk 2 wins over Bank Holiday weekend, and everyone's forgotten about the draw of the game, the performance.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, you just want points on the board in this table at the moment. Saw a little bit of that game. Again, I wouldn't say it would be remembered as a vintage display, but as I said in the preview, I mean, good teams have dropped points at Belfield, including Bohs on Friday. So just chalk it down and get on with it. And yeah, I think there's that big gap to the two teams at the bottom, which is definitely concerning. Probably in particular for Cork at this stage. They need to find something from somewhere quickly.
Yeah, the other two games draw to one Shelbourne, one good free kick from Evan Caffrey. It's 5 unbeaten now for Shells. And we mentioned Drogheda before, but the two games, they'd probably be reasonably happy to get a point anyway, even if it seemed their performance might deserve more.
Yeah, no, I think Drogheda again, like seemed like they were very good for an hour, and Shells finished strongly. Great free kick by Caffrey, although the goalkeeping is sort of unusual. Maybe it's just the angle isn't particularly flattering, the Colin McCabe. But yeah, I suppose both sides would be reasonably okay with that. I think probably the other result, I mean, is the Pats, the St Patrick's at Sligo one. We talked about Sligo probably needing results to back up performances, and they've delivered it. I think for Pats, the concern is just the performances haven't been good. The last couple of games after turning things around, and again, it's like a couple of bad results, and it seems like you're on the edge of mutiny. And a huge crowd at Richmond Park again today, relative to recent title winning seasons there. They're not really just doing it at the moment. They're missing a few bodies, a few players underperforming, but they're suddenly they've ping ponged back into crisis territory after going, having a chance to move within like a point of top spot 10 days ago. So
yeah,
the nature of this season.
Yeah, things move fast. Just briefly down to the first division, we talked about Galway and Waterford flying all season. Both of them lost, which was, you'd have got quite good odds on that.
Yeah, and I mean, sets up their meeting at the weekend. I mean, it's a strange one for Waterford. They're probably thinking this is over almost with the early kickoff today, and suddenly Galway opened the door. And I don't think either of them will drop too many points like that, but it sometimes happens like this, doesn't it? But at least it allows that game at the weekend to sort of retain, the status that you want to build it up into a big game, which it is.
Yeah, so two top of the table clashes to look forward to. Dan, thanks so much for joining us, and we speak to you again soon.
No worries, Aidan. Thank you.